Hi, I'm Natalie from SewHungryHippie.com, and I am going to show you how to make rolled handles. And by rolled handles, I am not talking about webbing folded in half. No, no, nay, nay. What we're going to be doing is inserting vinyl tubing into our fabric or vinyl, and what results is this really cool firm gripped handle. This makes a perfect grip for heavier bags. This is vinyl tubing that you can get at your hardware store. One is 5/16 inch and one is 3/16 inch. So it's your preference. And then the second time around, I'm going to show you how I do it with vinyl. All right, all you're gonna need if you wanna sew along is some quilting cotton for version 1 and foam. You can use Bayani's Soft and Stable, or you can use Bustle Headliner. It's totally up to you. I prefer non-fusible. I like to sew it in. Tori's ready to go, so let's get into it. So this is just for the purpose of my demonstration. Your handle might be longer than this. What I like to do for this size tubing is I cut a 3-inch piece of fabric, however long you want it to be. Okay, 3 inches. And this foam piece is 2.5 inches. And I lay it down in here so that I've got 2 inches here and 2 inches here. Okay, this is how I lay it down, flush with that top edge. Then what I'm gonna do, you can use a double-sided tape, or you can use a little Elmer's glue. And I'm just gonna paint down this edge. You don't need gobs of it. All right, move that out of the way. And then I'm gonna take this over to the iron and I'm gonna press this down. So I can finger press it now, but the heat from the iron really seals the deal in here. So I'm gonna go do that really quick and I'll be right back. I did forget to do the ends here. Okay, there we are with that. Now take this edge and just barely fold it in. I'm not going to give you a measurement because I really want you to just kind of barely fold it over. We're going to take this side and fold it up, and this is when you'll catch it with your clips. Fold this side up and clip it. I'm not going to do anything with the tail here. I'm going to leave that open. So I just work it little by little. You want to make sure you're getting the fabric raw edges hidden inside there really well. Almost there, just to the edge of that foam, which is right there. And the edge of the foam is right there on that one. So now I've got all this done, and I'm gonna sew down this edge, sorry, not at the 2 inches. I'm gonna start at the edge of the foam and sew all the way down to the end of this foam. The trick here is you want to make sure your foot is flat and even. So if you need to use a walking foot here on your machine, please feel free. This is a very small seam allowance, like 1/8 of an inch. It's right on the edge. This is what the handle looks like. Okay. I know somebody's going to comment on that thread, so I'm just going to trim it. And I am going to take the 5/16 tubing. It's tighter than the 3/16. The 3/16, if you're afraid of this part, use the smaller tubing because it just slides right in. The 5/16, I feel like I'm inserting a Foley catheter. Shout out to nurses. Maybe I should edit that out. I probably should. Okay, so at this, by the way, I'm using longer tubing than I need to because I want to show you a couple of different methods. Maybe I should cut this. All right, there's our handle. Your tubing would be cut to exactly the size of your handle. You would not have all this extra out here. So you're gonna insert it so that it stops when your handle starts to flare out like this. This is the part we're gonna sew down onto the bag. So you just fold in that raw edge, and now it's ready to be sewn to the bag. I know I'm gonna have to demo this, right? Okay, so there's the 5/16. Doesn't that look good? So then here is the 3/16 tubing. You gotta make sure that you're going inside the foam tube as well. Don't get stuck doing it between the fabric only. Go inside the foam because that's what makes the tubing like fluffy and easy to grip. Okay, so there's the 3/16. Now, I should just cut this one because I'm gonna show you how to attach this to a bag. Let me switch to the overhead camera. Oh, after I change the view. So you've got it like this. See how this is the 2-inch end that we didn't sew together. And so my tubing ends right here. So now this part, Tori, this part is what we're gonna sew down onto the bag, okay? Now, the side edges already are folding in. What you'll need to do if using fabric is fold up this bottom edge. And then, so you know what I do, I just use some glue. Let's make it easy. And I'm just gonna fold it up a tiny bit. That's just to in case, oops, sorry, my big old head was in the way. It's just going to get those raw edges from creeping out. See how it would lay on your bag? And then you're gonna sew down, over, and up. All right, so I don't think this blue is gonna show up enough. I'm gonna try white. So I made a mark 2 inches down. This is completely variable. You do whatever you like best. So this is the top of the bag. I'm going to place these folded in edges so that it's on the 2-inch. 1, 2, 3, 4 inches. 4 inches in. And I'm gonna put a pin. then this one, 2, 3, 4. You might want to do one side at a time, like pin it, sew it, and then do the other side. You can see how these are going to be funky. Remember that any new technique will probably take a few tries to get it looking how you really want it to look. So practice on fabric you don't care about or bags that aren't high pressure. I always, if I'm doing something new, I make a bag for myself because I know that I don't have time to worry about how the butts of my handles look when I'm using it. I don't care. I care, but it's not like, I'm not selling it to somebody. All right, I'm gonna try to do this. We'll see. I'm gonna sew across the bottom first. Hey, Mia. All right, so you can see what it would look like. Now, it'd look a lot better if I used blended in thread, but I really like it. I might have to finish this, in fact. All right, so I finished it. Oops, I forgot to undo my chalk line. There it is. So I ended up doing a purse-sized Santorini tote. I just felt like it was a better, I use this bag daily, my Santorini totes. I just really like it, so. All right, so now we'll do the vinyl rolled handle. And what you're gonna do is cut your strip, again at 3 inches, this way, 3 inches, however long you want it, and then draw a 1/2 inch marking on each side. I messed up on this side, don't look at that. I was just having a moment. 1/2 inch, 1/2 inch, okay? And then let's switch to the overhead here. Then what we're going to do is fold it in at that 1/2 inch marking, and then you'll bring it right over and pinch it here. And this is where I put my clips, and I just work my way down. So it just gives it a little bit of overlap so that no edges are going to be missed. And what we're going to do is sew down that edge again at about 1/8 inch seam allowance, and then we will insert the tubing. Now, if you want to make your strap like 1.5 inches and just fold it in half and have a raw edge, you totally can. I just don't like the look of it very much, so I'm not going to show you that way. All right, now at this point, I'm using white Moonglow vinyl for my strap. So as I was saying, I'm using white Moonglow vinyl. Your machine might require a Teflon foot, and a Teflon sewing foot is just one that doesn't stick to vinyl. While this vinyl is not sticky, not all machines love sewing vinyl. It's just a fact. So I'm using my regular sewing foot right now, but you may need a Teflon foot or a walking foot because this is 4 layers here. I just use a universal chrome needle, size 80. And I'm sewing this at 1/8 inch seam allowance. Once in a while, I have to lift up the foot a little bit while my needle is still in the vinyl and rearrange the layers a bit. Don't push or pull on the vinyl. Okay, so there it is. I'm not going to sew down the other side because that would make a seam where my hand grips the handle. So now I'm just going to insert the vinyl tubing right in there, see? And there we are. A nice rolled handle. Just looks really professional. And of course you'll trim this tubing, just like the fabric version where we trim the tubing 2 inches, 1.5 to 2 inches shorter on each end than the vinyl or fabric, because this opened up, which I forgot to do here. There, just pop those stitches out. So this is the part that would be sewn to the bag, just like I showed with the fabric. Just right on there. And you don't have to fold up any edges because vinyl doesn't fray. You won't see anything happening there with use. So you can just directly sew this onto the bag. Well, there you have it. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial and feel free to adjust things as you need them. Don't forget to give me a like and subscribe to my channel. Thanks. I'll see you soon. Remember, more vinyl is at sewhungryhippie.com. Bye.